Hello and welcome back to AK Reacts. I'm AK, and today we have more military stories by, you know it, our favorite creator duos, mikeburnfire and Zach Hazard. This one's called More Military Stories, not to sound like a broken record, but for the new people that joined or don't know me, I'm AK. I'm an ex-conscript of Iranian military. I used to serve as a law enforcement conscript. My usual job was escort services, getting people or items from one place to another, night patrols, guard duties, and working at an armory. So that's what you need to know about me. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on all the videos that Mike Burnfire and Zach Hazard make. I'm going to have the link to their channels down in the description, Mike Burnfire and Zach Hazard's. So make sure to show them some love. And without further ado, let's get started.
Have you ever consumed so much water that you puked?
Yes, I
Yes,
have been
yes.
Overhydrated?
I have been overhydrated before, and it is awful. I just came back from leave, and I had to pee in a cup to prove that I hadn't done drugs.
Oh yes, I remember this
Ooh.
story.
Yeah.
You had to
Because
force
you're
feed
very
yourself
shy when it
water,
comes
huh?
to urinating in public.
I was very shy when it comes to urinating in public, and I had to pee very badly, and all the drill sergeants were very angry that I wouldn't pee, or that I couldn't pee,
for their urinary analysis test.
for their pleasure.
They wanted to watch.
And they wanted to
Pleasure,
watch me
ew.
pee. That's how they get off. So I basically ended up drinking
I mean, it would
7-8
track.
gallons of water.
Because they would tell you to pee in a cup,
Sadistic
and you couldn't.
guys.
So they'd force you to drink a bottle or two of water.
Yeah,
and you couldn't
yeah.
still.
So I drink more water, and I had drank so much water that I just started throwing up uncontrollably.
Ah,
The entire time, this one drill sergeant was running around the room with a baseball bat, breaking things and screaming, "Private, if you don't pee right now, I'm gonna cave your skull in and I'm gonna fuck you to death." It was probably the most horrifying experience of my entire life,
Yeah.
and I'm including getting mortared.
Oh, the
Jesus,
things you'll
ah.
see. I don't want to brag, but I do have 6th rank expert marksmanship. I did.
Wait
Expert-
a minute, expert
oh.
marksmanship only goes to 4 ranks.
No, it goes to 6.
What are you trying to pull?
What are you talking about? I don't know how your army shooting works. Probably less than my effective Marine Corps shooting. It's okay. You can wallow in your mediocrity by comparison. It's fine.
okay. Before we get into it, I'm not sure what it is. The marksman test. I think they are going to do. We had the test, but it was like a regulation thing that you had to just have a trip to the field to at least try your weapons, like each 3, maybe 4 months. So in my time, each year you would have usually gone about 4 to 7 or 8 times a year to a range just to get tested for your accuracy and all that, and you would be graded, and those grades would come back to our precinct. That was like the how it worked, but there wasn't a, how should I say this? There wasn't a rank given to it, like at the 4th and 6th rank that they just talked about now. No, we didn't have any of those rankings. If you had good enough of a score, well, congratulations, you passed, and all is dandy and good. Yeah, but if you didn't pass, oh well. There's going to be some very strong letters coming to your precinct. Your boss is going to have a field day just chewing your ass out. It's a normal thing. You should be good at shooting a weapon when the situation asks for it, right? Kind of makes sense. So yeah, you had to like be ready and all that, but there were no ranks assigned to it. Just wanted to say that. So I'm not familiar with the concept, but I can get behind it how it is. I hope they would just tell me more about how they are getting tested so I could be more familiar with it. If any of you do know that or were in any sort of military group like the Army or Marines, please leave a comment and tell me about it. Let's keep going.
Did you get sharpshooter
Oh no.
or marksman?
Oh no. I did not get either of those. I got expert.
I'm sorry, expert.
Yes.
Expert
I don't know
sharpshooter
if
and
You
marksman.
have the same marksmanship.
Yes, Mike,
ranking.
I got expert every time.
Did you get the pizza box? You got the pizza box, didn't you?
No, I got expert marksman.
You got the toilet seat.
Actually, in basic training, I didn't get expert marksman, but that was because when we went to the final qualifying range, I went to tap the magazine to seat all the rounds properly in it, and the bottom of the magazine exploded outwards. And
Ah.
so I basically was panicking trying to single-hand load my M16 on a course
Yeah.
that requires the use of 2 fully loaded magazines.
That's
I
not
was
gonna
also
happen.
on the firing range, and I had an issue. I had 20 rounds in a magazine, and while I got to the
Just one thing. I just wanted to say, you would want all the problems, all the issues, all the training mishaps, and all that coming to you in a training and firing range, right? You want it to be tested to see how bad you could perform, so you could fix this, so that in a real situation you wouldn't actually get into those stuff, or perhaps better to say, not make the same mistakes, you know? So yeah, mishaps do happen as long as you kind of keep yourself safe, uh, check your manual of arms, they're gonna be fine. Let's resume.
firing range, I noticed that there was a live round on the ground, and I thought, oh no, one of my rounds must have fallen out. So I chambered that one, and then I shot at my target. It was a little
Ooh.
weird that all the instructors were counting our shots, and I had 21 shots on mine. I
Figured out the mathematical fucking equation to solve the lack of ammo.
Yeah.
Like,
Find bullets on the ground. That's like every video game,
there's something wrong
honestly.
with this gun.
It jammed a little bit.
Yeah.
If it jams, that's what you gotta do. You gotta push forward on that.
Forward.
What do you call it?
The jam
Forward
enhancer.
assist.
The jam enhance. I don't think that's what it's called.
I've used that once in my entire
Jam
military
enhancer.
career, and I have never used it since that day.
I can't believe you found a use for it.
Well, my entire rifle was completely filled with sand and dust.
Mm.
I've never had that experience.
Because some genius decided we were going to do a firing range in the middle of a sandstorm.
Ah.
Hooray!
I was cleaning my rifle one time, and I
Uh-huh.
just couldn't figure out how to send the bolt home. And I told my fellow Marines sitting next to me, I said, I can't figure out how to send the bolt home. Look, I'm pushing the button, and it's not sending the bolt home. And he looked at me with this look of incredulity and said, that's because that's the magazine release button. So
If I had known that about you,
Wow.
I would have said that we couldn't be friends anymore.
Yeah, that kind
While
of
I was in the
tracks.
military and I
Wow.
lived in the barracks. We had a thing that was called Better Opportunities for Single Soldiers, or BOSS.
sounds like a dating meeting.
Marriage plan or something?
No, we were
Yeah.
supposed to help create fun events for people that lived in the barracks, so they didn't just sit in the barracks and drink all the time. It was like, oh, we're gonna have this meeting out here, and there's gonna be base.
Okay, yeah, we had like the same type of thing like this boss program for single soldiers and all that, but for like all the soldiers, they do not want to see you being alone and not doing anything. That's just a no-go. If they find you're doing nothing, they're gonna find something for you to do. That's just it. And it doesn't matter if it needs to be productive, or it doesn't matter if you were just from coming from a shift or going into one. When one of the social programs comes in, it's just going to eat away at your time, and that's it. It's just gonna bother you to hell. We had some coming from like religious ones, because there are like religious institutes built into the law enforcement, because law enforcement or law in Iran is based off of like the Islamic law. So Islamic law and law enforcement cannot be separated. They go in hand to hand way more than they probably should. That's just fair to assume that. Yeah, it's not the same or equivalent. Just imagine the same, but with religious undertones, and every once in a while there's going to be some commander saying, oh yeah, these conscripts are not doing enough, get them up, get them running, make them do something. That's just what they want. We had lots of religious ones, like reading a religious text or reading from the Holy Quran and all that. But let's be honest, when I was done with my shift, which was like from 7 p.m. till 7 a.m., and some goddamn bastard who thinks is better than me because he believes in a religion too much because he's being paid for it, comes rolling into our precinct and asks me to like put my best clothes on, wash up, get a wuzu, which is like a baptism of sorts if you're not familiar, and then go sit in the prayers room so we could have a group session or something. And at that point, I was just like almost half asleep already, and I was like on autopilot mode. I'm a genuine zombie at this point. And dude is like talking about the most boring stuff that I have no, and I mean no interest in. Like, and then they expect you to like listen, be productive and all that. It's just not possible. I just done my shift for 12 hours. I don't know. Sometimes they're just doing it to piss you off. Sometimes they're just doing it because they're forced to. In all those cases, everyone's is just unhappy. That's it. So I want to know, how's the boss program working for other people? Let's see.
Baseball and food and fun times, and there'll be people playing music.
Baseball and
I
food.
love those days.
All
They're
right.
so fun.
And you have to show up in civilian clothes. And also, we're having a
No,
formation
no.
afterwards.
We're
which you have
always
to be
in military
uniform for.
forms.
That part's not so fun.
Yeah.
I'm literally in the middle of work. I have 15 weapons that need to be fixed
Yeah.
right now. But I have to go to this mandatory fun day, so...
Mandatory fun
you.
day.
So I had to go
Paradox.
back from work to the barracks, get changed into civilian clothes, go to this meeting, and they were like, oh, there'll be food there. So I didn't eat lunch.
I know where this story's going. Was this your first mandatory fun day? Or were you aware of the procedure for that?
Oh, I was aware of the procedures for mandatory fun day. But usually when they said there's going to be food there was food there that you didn't have to pay for.
Oh.
You say this isn't your first mandatory
Yeah, I can
fun
see it
day,
in
but I
distance.
think you would have
What is
heard
going
by
to
now
happen?
always have a can of SpaghettiOs or a packet of jerky, because you know this kind of garbage happens all the time.
So show up for the mandatory fun day. They have hot dogs.
$5 a pop.
Yeah, which are $5 a piece.
For charity, right?
No, it goes to the Better Opportunities for Single Soldiers.
Oh, it's funding the
have more
program.
Fun meetings like this.
It's
Ew.
pretty much charity, but it's a terrible charity.
It's a terrible charity that means
Charity for the military.
sergeant who lives in the barracks and who runs the Better Opportunities for Single Soldiers thing can go frickin' skydiving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas I'm stuck sitting at the barracks getting drunk because I don't have anything else to do. Anyway, show up there. I have to pay like $5. I don't have any money. Then I have to go to a formation. So I have to go back to the barracks, get changed into my uniform, put on my black wool hat that I have to wear in the summer
Oh.
in Louisiana.
Oh, yeah.
That's
where
gonna
it
be
feels
hurt.
like 120 degrees
That's gonna
outside.
hurt. That's
I stand
gonna
in formation
hurt.
for 10 minutes and then pass out because my blood sugar is too low.
This isn't a unique story for you, but it is.
No,
quite
this happens to
amusing.
pretty much everybody in the military.
Yeah.
I wake up and my first sergeant and a medic are dragging me away from the formation.
Did you get the silver bullet?
No, I didn't. The medic that was dragging me back was not part of like an organized medical thing. He was just a medic that was standing in formation behind me.
Oh, you're lucky you didn't have any thermometers on hand.
Thank God. According to him, this is pretty much what happened. This is bullshit. I fell into the person in front of me and knocked him over. I wake up, my first sergeant and a medic are dragging me back, and my first sergeant is cussing me out and telling me that I have disgraced him and the entire unit because
Oh,
I passed
eat
out.
shit.
The medic is telling the first sergeant that he needs to shut the fuck up because
Yeah,
he's passed
yeah.
out, probably from low blood sugar. And also because his
Honestly, first off, the medic. Medics don't take shit from nobody. Like, that's just a universal thing everywhere. Just everywhere. And I'm all here for it. Yeah, sure.
it's 120 degrees outside. He's like, did you eat at all today? And I was like, no, I didn't eat. I went to the boss meeting. And he's like, you gotta eat before those things, man. They charge you money.
Because it wasn't his first rodeo either.
Anyway, long story short, I passed out because the army said that there was gonna be food there, and then there wasn't food there, except there was food there, but I had to pay money for
Like
it.
they do every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mandatory fun days are the worst.
Oh,
Honestly, have a type of a same situation once. We had one of those programs that I just talked about. The program this time was like an athletic one. It was bound to be like somewhere in like 10 a.m. or something. We were still at the camp. This was basic training. And I'm saying it's like an athletic thing, but it isn't. It's just a bunch of people being like forced into something after they have done so much more. Like, athletics is just, let's say, it's for a warm up or just to build your body more. All right, it's PT, right? That you do understand, but it doesn't feel like PT when you've done like majority of your day things that are going to happen before that. Because this athletic program was about like 10 or 11 a.m. was the start of it, and we woke up at 4. So between 4 and 10, we were already awake like for 6 hours. We were doing chores, cleaning duties, guard duties, everything. And just think about it, 6 hours of work, and then your boss takes you to a square, you have to like wait in formation, and then they just start saying, oh yeah, it's an athletic one, you have to sweat your ass off. What do you think I was doing in the past 6 hours? I'm already drenched in sweat. This is the time I'm going to the showers. Why are you stopping me from that? It's stupid. Between all of those times, there are people that, well, are going to have different days than you. Everyone has their own job. Everyone works at some place, right? We had one dude, he was a skinny guy. I'm also skinny, but he definitely had like underlying conditions or something. He was like anorexic as hell. Just straight up at the formation where I was just standing, he just fell out of consciousness. He just passed out, just like Zach said. And this was like in the middle of training while the commander was just up on the stage showing us and all the people on information on how to do these. We were like in lines and all that. And what I heard was just a loud thump, a thud, and like a back of my head. Just out of reflex, I just looked back and saw someone just being face planted on the asphalt. So yeah, it was just, I had to flag an officer down so he could call for like an ambulance because we don't have cell phones and all that. Only the officers did. And this was like in middle of a formation field, which are like all pretty damn huge. There were about like maybe 2,000 people right there. Long story short, the ambulance came in. We put him back into the ambulance and didn't see him like till like 10 hours after. And then I asked him what happened. He said, oh, I had so much work to do in the morning that I didn't even get a chance to eat breakfast. And the next thing we know, I had to go through PT on an empty stomach from being overworked from 4 a.m. And then I was just there and yeah, that makes sense. I'm not going to blame you. I'm going to sympathize with you. That was just the only thing I could do, right? Dumbass, stupid questions and programs do happen a lot of time in every single military, I believe. Let's keep going.
Oh man, when we got sent to Africa, we got 2 guys that fell out of heat stroke the first day because they had to sleep under the freaking 120-degree sun.
You don't do that.
That seems like a great idea.
Don't worry,
you do
we
not
had
do
plastic
that.
tents to sleep in that had no ventilation.
Yes. They have no ventilation, so they just keep...
Under 20 degrees is about 50 degrees Celsius. That's hot as hell. That's just not possible to do so. It is possible. Like the heat actually makes you go to sleep. You shouldn't do it because it's way too dangerous. Then 50 degrees is no joke. Absolutely just, it's not boiling, sure. It's half the point of boiling and it's still a lot.
Keep all the humidity and the moisture in there.
Me and another guy had night shift, so we spent the entire night shift guarding the equipment.
Yeah.
And then during the day, everyone else went out and we got to sleep in the hot sun.
Oh, God.
And it was already steaming hot at 9 in the morning. So I couldn't sleep. I'm naked and I'm still sweating, so we know what? Forget it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put my gear back on and I'm just going to use my off time to play cards because there's nothing else I can do.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the other guy...
Just a FYI, at some point in the how hot it gets, it's something I had to learn the hard way. It doesn't matter if you are naked or not, if you are sweating or not. It doesn't matter if you even have like a fan blowing into you. If the air outside is way hotter than it should be, when the air is even coming at you from a fan, it still is going to heat you up more. It's not going to help because it's so goddamn hot. If fans have a temperature that they could work for you, like, yeah, the machine itself, it works. It's still going to blow air to you, but it's not going to feel like you're being cooled down. It might actually be getting you worse. And these temperatures do swing a lot in some places that have more moisture in the air or just by the degree of heat that exists there, you know? So yeah, you are going to need absolutely an AC and air conditioner and to drink a whole lot of water. You're gonna sweat your ass off. That's it, let's go.
I stayed in the tent for about 15 minutes and started getting delusional. And he starts yelling, "Hey Mike, are you feeling hot?" And of course, because I had left, he didn't hear anything.
You didn't hear anything back?
Thinking maybe I had passed out.
Ooh.
So he jumps out of his tent in nothing but his boxer shorts. He starts ripping open tents because he can't remember which one I'm staying in, yelling, "Mike, where are you? Speak to me, Mike." And we're not too far away, so we see the ruckus. We turn our heads, and we see this guy screaming and ripping into tents.
And his boxer shorts, Mike, you there?
Vision from a meth-fueled nightmare.
Yeah.
He was high on angel dust and was just ripping open tents trying to
Coked
find you
up.
so that he could eat your organs.
Oh, God, he couldn't find him. I was too busy playing Caravan.
Oh, God. Why were you in Africa?
Oh, for training drills.
Oh,
I wasn't
okay.
deployed or anything. We were just hanging out with the Senegalese troops. And one of them kept making moves on our sergeant.
I remember you telling me about that.
You can be my third wife.
Honestly, from that story, W the mate in boxer shorts because he still cared and just wanted to see if you were good or not. That's just a good friend you can, that's a mate that you can believe that has your back, you know what? So yeah, props to him. He was just looking out for you.
Corporal Clegg, I present you with your Purple Heart. Wear it with honor.
How's it going?
Now that we're talking to Corporal Clegg again, can I tell you a really quick funny story about when I was in the military?
I love quick funny stories.
Okay. We were doing like a redeployment ceremony, which is when you get back from Iraq.
Uh-huh.
They have a
Coming home
It's
ceremony.
supposed to be, as everybody in my chain of command said, well, this ceremony's for you guys. And then I kept thinking, why the hell do I got to stand in the hot Louisiana sun for 3 hours while some guy talks about shit that I know I did?
Some guy fillets you in the hot sun.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
To practice for those.
Yes, I had to practice for both of them.
Because standing requires practice.
Like you haven't done
was
it for
about
the
2 weeks of practicing
Exactly.
ceremonies. Anyway,
Exactly.
at one of them, whenever we would practice, instead of the sergeant major giving his whole long-winded speech about everything that I know we did in country, he would just stand up there and walk up to the microphone and say remarks complete and go and sit down.
Because he didn't have to give the whole speech for the practice.
They practiced it
Yeah.
at home, in the comfort of their house, in the comfort of air conditioning. Unlike
Yeah.
me, because I'm a lowly soldier. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. During the actual deployment ceremony,
the actual
said
one.
remarks complete so many times when he was called on stage that during the actual ceremony, he got up there, got behind the microphone, and said remarks complete,
Yes.
and then went and sat down.
Oh.
And then I could see him sitting on stage, and 2 seconds after he sat down, he realized what he did and just went, oh, fuck.
You didn't hear it. You saw him mouth it.
Cut
though.
it short. Yeah, that's good.
'Cause he didn't actually give the speech he was supposed to give, and they just kept going. That was the
Ah.
best redeployment ceremony ever because it was about an hour shorter than it needed to be.
Yes.
Anyway,
So there was no fallout from that?
no, not really.
No, it just
Couldn't be for
As the
you.
Sergeant Major, who's gonna yell at it?
Yeah. Honestly, that was very fun. Make sure to leave a like on the original video. I'm going to check more of them out. Oh yeah, and before I go, just one more thing. For any of my viewers, I have changed the style of the videos because people apparently didn't like the avatar that I was using. Completely fine. It was just extra work for me. I thought it would be better, but people didn't like it, so I'm just gonna remove it for now at least. Do make sure to leave me a comment and tell me how you think about it. If you like it, if you don't, your opinion is actually important in this, so you do you. So thank you all for joining me. Hope you liked this one. Check the description for the links to the original video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share. And if you like this video, maybe do the same for me. And new videos every week. I ranted on enough. Thank you all for watching and joining me. This is AK, and goodbye.